back here to do the second part of this Tutorial Tuesday day. You just need to take some time to clear my head a little bit and rest up, take a shower, clear the head, and get a little lost in my mind a little bit. Let me see. I'm just trying to do some things here. So, let me just reintroduce this. So, what I'm doing here is just working through a tutorial for JavaScript. It's by Free Code Camp, and I'm learning JavaScript in order to contribute to free and open source softwares like Obsidian, Crosshair, and I got to think of some others. There are definitely some other projects that I want to contribute to. I have a lot of experience with Python, but there aren't a lot of things that are kind of built on Python. Most of the modern web uses JavaScript. So that's definitely been a gap that I am trying to fill. So while I do this, I encourage others to just go about your day and do what you need to do to achieve your goals. And also, if you'd like to follow along, you can do that. I try to add some commentary to what I'm doing, but for the most part, this is just for me working through some tasks towards a goal. Yeah, so let me know what you're working on. Okay. And what I want to do at some point today is to set up some Pomodoros on here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to that today. Let me get let's get this going here. There we go. Okay. So let's see where I left off. I was making some variables that we were going to use. We have not implemented them yet. We just instantiated them. And soon we'll be working through getting this going. Okay. Let's see. So we got health text, gold text, monster stats. Right, and that's pulling the data from the page already, isn't that? Isn't that how it's working? Document query selector. We just put some nice styling on these things too, so that was good. Good refresher there on that one. I do want to get the chat working as well, but so far there's been nobody that's been popping in here, so I don't really think that it's a pressing need. But for future streams, I'd like to do this a little bit more regularly and yeah, bring some friends along. So let's see, did we do this already, or are we stuck here? Monster name, monster stats. Okay, so there's something else we need to do. Okay, yeah, we had just done that already. And past that. Finally, we're going to use the query selector to get the monster health element. I thought we were doing that. Okay, so we don't have the monster health element, but we already have that on there already. We do. We got the XP text, right? Actually, I don't know what the XP text is. Don't we have... Yeah, it's not the XP, it's not the health, it's not the gold. Yeah, those things are going to change. Okay, so we need to make a constant. So we need monster health text. I don't know why you're using it as the text. Monster health, okay. Keeps flashing for some reason. I think that's it. Yeah. And really that's it. Okay, so these are really just small steps here you have to accomplish here. Oh gosh. Ooh. It's a very sweet iced coffee that the ice has not melted yet. Yeah, some of that. Alright, so we have some syntax. Okay, so in the previous project, we learned how to create a function name, that way, right? Yeah, in that function block there. And then we want to create an empty function called go to the store. So this is kind of like interesting because like this is kind of the first syntax that I learned because it was with like Java. And with like Java, where you would do, I don't remember if you would. How would you declare a function? I don't remember. There was the function name. Like you would do function name, and you'd have all your like args, right? Args, arg1, arg2, and then you'd have this block. But I forget what you would do to start to call it. It was like either private or like public function. How did we define in that? That's kind of an interesting sidestep I want to go down here, I think. Java function syntax. Maybe I should probably review Java. I don't know if Java's being used a lot though. Java methods, that's what it is here. Interface, right, public interface, but how did you do like a method or something? Alright, I guess we'll just go down here with Java methods. Thought there would be online tutorials. Public class main, right, okay. Right, it would be like the static void. So static being that it was, what is that? What did static mean again? I forget. Static void. code to be executed. Just wanted to like show a little, like the difference between like Python would be like function name, and you can work 2, and then you do like this, and then you'd have to actually like put in either that or paths in order to. It's either this, pass, or return, and you're just basically returning a null object in that sense. In order to like actually like just put a stub in, you can put a stub by doing that as well. But in Java, it was like it's a very similar syntax, except you'd have to specify the like some of the access. But like the stub would basically just be this, you know, the empty brackets, empty curly braces. It's a very similar thing in JavaScript, so pretty easy to move into JavaScript once you like have that kind of basis if you have basis in Java, I guess. Even though I don't remember a lot about like the particulars about Java, the general structures seem very similar. Oh, what function do we need to call? Go store. Go store. Rah rah. Way to go. What an appropriate congratulations message. We made a method called go store. Do it, lady. Go store. Alright. Now inside, we have to do the console log, right? It's just outputting to the console, and you don't have the console on by default, but there we go at the bottom there. Oh, we can adjust this. That's pretty neat. Okay. I guess we don't really need to have all the space up here. Probably like half. And we can play around with this. That's pretty neat. Okay. Okay, so now we want to create a function called goCave. And we want to console log this. Going to cave. I know Kung Fu, I guess. Okay. Fighting a dragon. So it's really just repetition. They're going... I want to get that muscle memory, apparently. Definitely fight a dragon, don't finger dragons. Probably not a good idea. Alright, so the next thing we need to do is to do multi-line comments. So add a single line comment that says initialize. Initialize buttons. Okay. Button 1 represents buttons. Represent. Okay. Cool. Oh, look at this. You know, this should be up higher, shouldn't it? Do I have this working correctly? I don't even remember. Okay. Button 1 represents your first button element. These elements have a special property called onClick. You can use to determine what happens when someone clicks that button. You can access properties in JavaScript a couple of different ways. First is dot notation. Here's an example of using dot notation to set the onClick property of a button to a function reference. let's see. Okay. Boy, I feel like I'm just constantly dehydrated. Brain is just all over the place. Okay. Right, button one was the first button element, and then there's a special property called onClick. Right, so that's built into the the button abstraction, I think. And that, okay, but that's oh, but where does it get, like, I guess it's part of the HTML thing. It must be part of the HTML. What do you want to call it? Standards or something. And then, okay. That's interesting. Okay, so you can interact with... I don't know a lot about the back end of, like, what is happening when you write a HTML thing. It's definitely like code that's in, like, in your browser. There's got to be some kind of language interpreter or something. I think it's actually like, I don't know if it's the WebAssembly, if that's what that is, but there must be, yeah, it must be some object that is created from the HTML. HTML tells the interpreter to create an object, I guess. And then you can access that object. And that object has buttons on click. It has an on click property. Okay. Interesting. I don't know. I gotta, like, learn more about HTML. When the button is clicked, my function will be called. Especially, like, the modern HTML is so different than the HTML that I grew up with. The thing that's, like, in my head is the marquee thing where you, like, have the text go across, like the ticker that I have at the bottom there. The little text banner there. And then you could have, like, the blinking stuff, and those were, surely those are, like, similar types of things. Those are abstractions that, you know, for handling, to tell the interpreter what to do with it, what to do with what's inside those tags. I just never really thought that, like, button. Okay, yeah, buttons make sense. Okay, so it does make sense. Okay. When the button is clicked, my function will be called. You can see I'm not, like, it's been a long time since I've coded. Alright, when the button is clicked, my function will be called. So what do I need to do? We want to use the dot notation. Interesting. So the onClick property, you assign a function reference, right? So we want to assign store, which is the function, and then note that button one is already declared, so you don't need to use let or const. But I guess it is a constant. Button one is a constant, right? We're not altering the button at all. What we are altering is a property of the button. Right, okay. Now, using the same syntax, we'll let the or set the on-click properties of Ubuntu, right? So, go cave! Yay to the cave! I'm assuming it's not telling you to give in to something. Go cave. Should just say go to cave. I mean, it's just like it doesn't need to be. Go store. Like, I thought we were gonna be descriptive in our variables and our function names. Go store sounds like it's a rah 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 type of thing. Alright, so the inner text controls the text that appears in an HTML element. And for example, I don't think I'm gonna get this all today. This is a lot, I guess. And plus, I'm just not feeling that great. I know I haven't spent that much time on it though. Gotta give it a couple hours today. Go store, going to the store. So what do we want to do? We want to, the inner text property control, the text that appears in an HTML element. Okay. And so, okay. Interesting. So you create const info, and then the query selector from the document is info. Interesting. Info.innertext. Hello world. Hello there world. Hello, cruel world. The example above will change the text of the P element, the demo content, to hello world. When a player clicks on that Go Store button, you want to change the buttons in the text, right? So do we have to create a thing here? We move the code inside. Yeah, okay, I see what they're doing here. You could do this all in one line, but they're just breaking this up. So like in that example, what we could do is you do document.query selector, and then like your selector, like the ID, right? And then since this is all that, you know, all returning that same whatever gets returned, whatever type of object gets returned in this sense. Then you can do the inner text of that. So you can do it all on one line, but they're just doing this in separate stages here. So we move the code inside the store function, right? And you want to change the buttons of text, so, and we want a line updates the button text, button 1. I think this is all that they want us to do. Oh, right, okay. That's what I'm supposed to do. Okay. Is that it? That's all we wanted to do? Okay. I don't know why they gave that example. Probably just an example of accessing the information off of JavaScript there. Okay. Become a supporter. There you go. Yeah. Good time to get something to drink. We want to add a line that updates the text of button 2 to say, buy weapon 30 gold, and update the text of button 3 to say, go to Town Square. Right, so we gotta update a couple things. This is an interesting way to handle this, by the way. And so, like, does this work? There we go. Okay, so it does change. And now, like, when we... Yeah, and there's still a problem, though. Yeah. Going to cave, fighting dragon. These ones are... These buttons have changed their... kind of their ID, their identity, right? They've changed from being options to go someplace to being options within a store. So which means that, like, in order to go back, like, to the town square, we have to reset everything, I think. So we're a quarter of the way there, almost a quarter of the way there. So we will need to update the functions that run when the buttons are clicked again. So if your Go Store function update on click property, yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about. My brain is all over the place. Let's see, you will also need to update the functions that run when the buttons are clicked again. Well, of course, yeah, right, of course. So in your Go Store function, update the onClick property. So for each one, so did we create a buy health one already? Was that just a fever dream that or not a fever dream, I just passed right by it, I guess. Did I do this yet? Do these exist? Yeah, that's correct, but did we create those yet? I don't think we did. No, okay, yeah, we didn't create the Go Cave and the Fight Dragon, did we? Oh yeah, we did do those ones, okay. Oh gosh, but we didn't do the buy health weapon and go down, so that's the next step, I guess. Or, okay. Now you need to modify your display text. Change the inner text property of the text variable to the you enter the store. So is that just... Okay. Is that what it is? I guess that's what it is. So if I go to the store, it says I enter the store. I can buy health. It says it's not defined. Buy health's not defined. Buy weapon's not defined. Go into cave and that's not defined. Okay. So next we're going to create 3 new empty functions called buy health, buy weapon, and go town. Right, okay, so let's just do it like that. Can I do like, I wonder if I can do it like this. Can I do multiple? Interesting, okay. Control Shift L? I don't know what that's supposed to do. Alright, so, yeah, so what I want to do is to create 3 function things. So I thought we could do it this way. Can you do it? You can do it with Alt. Okay. I'm just going to create stubs because I don't want to do this. Okay. And then are they supposed to do anything yet? There we go. I can escape out and I can just add the... gosh, I don't like navigating this thing. So we want buy health. We want buy weapon. Go town. Rah rah, go town. Alright, that should be correct. And how are we going to flesh these functions out here? You want to move your go town function above your go store function. Copy and paste the contents of the go store function into the go town function. Okay. Why are we copying and pasting it into here anyway? We're moving it above go store. Okay. Alright. Go town. Rah rah rah. In your go town function, change your button elements. Inner text properties to be go to store, go to cave, and fight dragon. Alright. In the toon square, and then I guess the button to text. What are we doing for that? Oh, you know what? I completely messed that up. Let me copy that. The inner text is that one. Go cave. Go to store, so it's going to go back to the store in that one. Go to cave, okay, and then go to fight the dragon, I guess. Can you just fight the dragon and everywhere? You're just always trying to fight the dragon. Buy health, buy weapon, go town. I guess that's it, or... Oh, okay, yeah, I didn't do this. Okay, so go... Store... Go cave... White Dargan. Wherever Dargan is. Okay, yeah, I'm not even interacting with this thing. So, like, currently, we go there, we enter the store, we go to the town square, we're back in the town square. Okay, so that closes the loop. Go to the cave, so that's the other thing. You enter the store. Buy weapon. We don't know what that does. Buy health doesn't do anything there. Go back to the town. So fight dragon. Go to cave. So okay, so it's functioning to the point where like everything there's no like. It doesn't fall apart. It's what I'm trying to say. But we need to flesh out all this other functionality here. You need to wrap this text store in double quotes because your string is already wrapped in double quotes. You'll need to escape the quotes around store. You can escape them with the backslash, of course. Okay. Have repetition in the go down and go store functions. Repetition in your code is a sign that you need another function. In the previous project, you learned how to work with function parameters like this. I mean, it's repetition in your code is a sign you need another function. It's a sign that you need to abstract it for sure. Or not necessarily abstract it, but you need to create a variable or something, some other way to hold it that points to the same reference. That's how I would think about it, but I could be wrong. In the previous project, you learned how to work with function parameters like this, right? Params, placeholders for values that you pass to the function when you call that, right? All right, so we're going to create an empty update function that takes a parameter called location. Must be real estate. In your role-playing game, you will be able to visit different locations like the store, the cave, and the town square. We'll need to create a data structure that will hold the different locations. Use a const to create a variable called locations and assign it to an empty array. I think that's how we assign an empty array. Yeah, it is. Okay. Before you begin to build out your locations array, you will need to learn about objects, and objects are an important data type. In JavaScript, the next few steps will be dedicated to learning about them so you will better understand how to apply them in your project. Yes, and I was gonna say something about primitive types and non-primitives. But we're gonna get into that right now. Objects are non-primitive data types, of course, right? Because they can be like combinations of other primitives and non-primitives. Yeah, non-primitive data types are mutable data types. Often, yeah, I think primitive data types are immutable. That's generally the idea. Like integers, like you, um, you're not going to be able to change an integer. It's the same integer. You can't swap an integer out with another integer. I don't know. It's not fungible. That's the wrong concept. What else? What else do I want to say about that? Mutable data types, not undefined, null, Boolean, number, string, or symbols. Immutable means that the data can be changed after it is created. Here's the basic syntax for an object, key and value. Very reminiscent of dictionaries in Python. So I guess are they just key value pairs? Is what makes up an object? Would be like a list of key value pairs. So we create a constant variable called at, and we're going to assign it to an empty object. Aha. Now in Python, this would be referring to a set, I think. Or an empty dictionary. I think it would be an empty dictionary, honestly. All right, and then below that, we're just going to log our cat and just show you that it's an empty object. And what it should say is empty. Yeah. Okay. I was kind of expecting a promise there, but that's for another time. That's going to be with async, and that is that's generally how you would find objects on the internet, because or on web pages, because things are going to be processed asynchronously, and so if you call an object like that, if you try to find the value of it, a lot of times you'll just find a promise for an object. It'll just say that, oh, this is an object. Great. But we don't know what it is yet, because it didn't get it's not synced up yet. That's my understanding of it. I know I need to get a better understanding of that. Objects are similar to arrays, and except that instead of using indexes to access and modify their data, you access the data in objects through properties. Properties consist of a key and a value. The key is the name of the property, and the value is the data stored in the property. Okay, so we call these things properties, and their property consists of a key and a value. Okay, makes sense. So inside our cat object, we're going to add a new property. We're going to have a name value, but now what is it? It's going to be whiskers. Okay, there we go. Okay. And I don't think you need to have, maybe you do. I guess you do. And we're gonna update the console. It says running test completed, but what did they yeah, they didn't tell us to send that out there, did they? Oh, it is down there, but it doesn't show. Okay. Well, yeah, fine. So if the property name key, so we are talking about properties and stuff. So let me actually come over to here because we talking about properties. I'm gonna copy this sucker here and I'm gonna say we're talking about objects, properties. We'll just put that there. We talked about objects and properties in this one. And we talk about keys. And I'm just going to say key value pairs, and I'm going to put it like this. Yeah. Just want to keep note of where I first find these things in this course. Property name of an object has a space around it. You'll need to use single or double quotes around the name. An example of an object with a property name that has a space. Right, that doesn't throw an error? Oh, so you can assign without putting in the quotes, right? But if it has a space, you have to use quotes. That's kind of makes sense. Generally how most things work. I feel like in general you should just use quotes. Because otherwise, it ends up looking a little messy, I think. I feel like it does. I'm not sure. I don't know what the style is like. Does JavaScript have like a shoot? What does PEP stand for again? Python. PEP 1 is like, this is what PEP stands for. Yeah. PEP purpose. Python enhancement proposal. It's a design document providing information. Right. Okay. So that's okay. That's the design document, but PEP 8 is the standards, right? Style guide for Python. Yeah. Is there a style guide for JavaScript? There's a Google JavaScript style guide and a Mozilla one. Airbnb JavaScript style. I guess it's less opinionated of a language because well, in comparison to Python, because Python has those standards as part of their kind of core, the project values, it's part of the project. But I don't guess JavaScript just has it's going to be institution dependent or project leader dependent. Okay, so yes, here we go. add items by pushing, not by... Okay. It's interesting. Okay. It's a bit of a diversion, but I think it's important to understand that if I'm going to be contributing code, I should know whether or not a style guide exists and make sure that keeping up with the best practices. Two ways to access the properties of an object: the dot notation and the bracket notation, similar to an array. And it's very similar to dictionaries in Python. Dot notation is what you use when you know the name of the property if you're trying to access ahead of time. Dot notation is what you use when you know the name of the property you're trying to access ahead of time? What do you mean? I figure... So bracket notation is for accessing by element. So I guess it's... So they're... Okay, so I think that... I guess that would be different than Python if... because dictionaries are unordered. They're not sorted. There is a sorted dict data type that I think is in the standard library, but you have to import it. Could be wrong on whether or not it's on the standard library, though. But are objects sorted? That's the question. That's what I was trying to get at. Okay. Whiskers. Whiskers is the name. Let's go to the next one. Wow, this is going to take all day. We're going to be on part 3 next week. Second way to access the properties of an object is bracket notation. If the property of an object is trying to access has a space in its name, you need to use bracket notation. Right. It's similar syntax to the Python dictionaries. Here is a sample of using bracket notation to read an object's property. So we're going to just update this, and we're going to use the number of legs cat object. So later on in the curriculum, we'll dive deeper into objects, but for now it's time to apply what we've learned to the role-playing game. We're going to start by deleting our cat object in this console statement. All coding is recoding, right? All coding is deleting. I'm going to do control. No, that doesn't work. Delete it. Delete that. Just a little side quest there to play with a cat object. Your locations will hold different location. Right, your locations array will hold different locations, like the store, the cape, the town square. Each location will be represented as an object. Inside your locations array, add an object. Inside that object, add a key name, called name there. Right, okay, so now we're getting at a little bit of a better organization here. Wait a minute. So we want an object? Okay. Is that it? I guess that's it. Okay. Then we gotta add the other ones. So just like the array values, we're gonna have object properties separated by a comma, of course. Button text property, but you want it to be like that? With the value of an empty array. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Kind of separate it with, or wrap it in double quotes there. Give your empty button text array 3 string elements. We can just do it like this, right? So we want to use the 3 strings being assigned to the button inner text properties in the goTown function. Okay. Where's the goTown function again? So let's go to store, go to cave, fight dragon. Right, you can just look up at the buttons on top there. There we go. Okay. Beauteous McBootious. Alright, we're going to create another property in our object called button functions. Give this property an array containing the 3 functions assigned to the onClick properties in the goTown. Okay, probably going to take a break in a second. I'm going to want to hydrate as well. Or, yeah, I guess what I'll do, I want to add something on the be right back screen. Yeah, I guess I can do that later. Let me see if this works. There it is. Okay. To the BRB screen, and this is going to be in. Yeah, there. Okay. All right. I think I want to unify like my stuff into one single channel. While I'm thinking about it, I don't know. I'm gonna take a break now. So I'll be back in a few minutes. Let me make sure that I got let's try 8 minutes. Okay, let's get back to it. Let's get going with next block of this stuff here. I'm gonna just take a break every hour. Yeah. Let's see. I'd like to finish this. I actually might leave this off in another hour. And then I'll just continue on next week. And actually, I think maybe what I'll do is I'll do the stream updates off camera. So actually, I like that idea. I'm very tired today, and I would like to work on some things tomorrow. I'm gonna need a good night's rest. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give this another hour, and we'll see how far we get. So let's give it a go. Okay. So we're going to create another property in our object. Called button functions. And we're going to do another array here. Empty array. But it's going to contain 3 functions. It's going to contain on-click properties. Right. The on-click properties it was go store, go cave, and then fight dragon, I think. Is that what it was? Yes, okay. Yeah, good memory then. Okay. We're remembering what we did. Okay. Even as I am not having a great cognitive day, I gotta say. It's been tough the last... It's been months, honestly. Oh boy. Add one final property to the object named text. Give this property the same string value as the one assigned to text.innerText. So what was that one? So the inner text was you're in the store. I forget what it said. You entered the store, right? Okay. Or wait, no. It was go town function. The go town function was that you're in there and you see a sign that says store, right? Okay. That's what we'll do. Right. Okay. Well. That was unnecessary. Oh, you know what? I can just redo. Let's do a redo. There we go. And then that should work. Oh boy, yeah, I'm not having a great cognitive one here. Yeah. Okay. Oh boy. Okay. We're gonna go to the town. We're gonna do button text and all that stuff. So you're in the town. You want to see a sign that says store. Hmm. So we have this list of objects, right? So what we want to do is we're going to have another object here. We're going to create the same properties, but we're going to use the values from GoStore function. And so what we have is we have the name is we're just going to set it as story, right? Gosh. Okay, and then we want button text to be 3 values that are, gosh, I don't remember what they were. By 10 health, by that. I'm just going to copy these, honestly, and then I'm just going to adjust it, because I don't want to do all this typing. By 10 at. And then go to town square. And see if I can remember the functions. I think it was by health, by weapon, and go town, I think. And text was you enter the store. Yeah, look at that. Wow. Okay. Not bad. Not bad. I can do some things sometimes. Now you can consolidate some of your code. You want to start by copying the code from inside the town function and paste it into your update function. Move all the code from inside the town. Yeah, okay. Okay. Right, okay, so yes, all this was yeah, all that's unneeded now. We update the button. And I guess we're going to abstract this away from the inner text later on. That's going to be the next step, I'm sure. And then so, or no, maybe we'll just skip that and try to, okay, call the update function. So instead of assigning the inner text and on-click properties to specific strings and functions, the update function will use the data from the location that is passed into it. First, that data needs to be passed. Like, all this kind of like, my brain's just not with it today. Because like all of it makes sense. I get what's going on, and yet, yeah, I'm just feeling fuzzy. Let's see. So we just want to call the update function. Yeah, that's all we want to do there. Like, I get all that, right? Okay, so use your update function to pass in the locations array into the update function call. That's it? Okay. Yeah. The locations array contains 2 locations, the town square and the store. Right, town square and the store. Currently, you're passing that entire array into the update function. No, you want to pass in only one, so you want to pass in. Okay. Okay, so this is what we're getting at, because what you're doing is you're passing a JSON object, a list of objects. Right? locations is a list of objects. All right. Okay. And yeah, I think that's what we're getting at then. And I guess we just do it that way. Okay. And lists are ordered, right? There is a sorting to them. I don't know if objects can say the same. So now your update function needs to use the argument you pass into it. Yep, and then we'll use location. Is that all we're doing? Yeah, and then for the inner text here, oh boy, I am a little bit out of it here. Is that what we were supposed to do? So, yeah, that is 3 elements. Right, so just accessing data from here. We could do it here. It's going to tell us that that's not what we want to do, though. Right? Oh, it does. Okay, so that's the only check it wanted to make. And it'll wipe out whatever I just did. Yeah. Okay. Well, we want to do that to the same thing, so we want to do location button text. And honestly, I should have just copy pasted. Because now what I can do is I can do 2, we can do 1, and button on click go store. Well, this needs to be updated as well, but we're just working through the list here. Literally working through the list, yeah. So assignments to be the first, second, and third values of the button functions. Update the 3 buttons on click focus assignments. Okay. So on click, what was it called? Button functions, I think it was called. Ow. Alright, and then that's what we're supposed to do, right? There we go. Okay, so finally we want to update the text.innerText assignment to equal the text from the allocation object. However, instead of using bracket notation, use dot notation. Okay. Example of accessing the name property of the object called person. Text from the location object. So the inner text function is what we're doing here. And yeah, and so what we're doing is you're just doing the location.text. So now update your GoStore function to call the update function past the second element of the locations array as your argument. Okay. Locations array. There we go. You just want to pass that into there for Go Store. Um, Honestly, like you should probably, rather than putting it into a list of that, you should have a I don't know, an object of lists, something like that. Why couldn't you do it as a? I think you could. Yeah. So we want to create two more empty functions called wait, slime. Okay, so we are just almost about at the point. No, we got plenty of time. I got plenty of time. Okay. We just want to. These are going to be used in our upcoming shape object, and we're going to add a third object to the locations array. And so we are inside of that right now. So we have a, yeah. Name. We need a list, right? There's 3 things. Fight slime. Be a slime fighter. Fight find beast. I want to do something on. I have a feeling that Friday is good, or Thursday is going to be just a sleeping day. I don't know. I'm just thinking ahead. I'm just very tired today.